Well, you guys are just loving an old Chery video at the moment, aren't you? I mean, my views are outrageously good in my Chery videos. I'd like to think it's all me, but I know it's not. I know it's because you're all very interested to know about the Cherys. Why? Because they are just dominating. These Chinese car brands are dominating and pissing people off left, right, and center. I've seen. Like when people do well or something does really well, there's always like the critics. And that's fine. There has to be, right? Like you can't just be like, favoring everything just because, okay. Talk about that safety feature in a second. Now, the Tiggo 7 was pretty instrumental in Chery's success. It launched back in 2022, and so it was part of this whole like domination, right? Now it's had a bit of an upgrade, and then there's been another model added, or model derivatives added, which is the 7 Pro Max, which is this guy, okay? Now there are 3 that you can choose from. So there's like the Distinction, the Executive, and then the thing that sort of sets this apart and makes it pretty rad is that you've got the all-wheel drive version. So you've got Executive, like 2-wheel drive, and then Executive all-wheel drive, okay? And they've all got like very cool extra features. They've got like bigger screens. You've got like a faster charging wireless charger-y thing for your phone. You've got this enormous panoramic sunroof. Don't get me started on sunroofs. I mean, I feel like I should take a side note here. Like, in fact, it's just, I feel like they are the most useless thing in the world. But anyways, this is like quite enormous. And because now, cool. I see. No, we're just going. No? Well, you should be sorry. My God. Anyways, probably because I'm talking about the sunroof. I'm so irritated now. Anyways, people just go. People drive like such. Shh. Right. So it's got all these extra little things. I think it's got like a Sony, like 8 bazillion speakers or whatever. The all-wheel drive, so if you've got the 2-wheel drive, you get like 3 driving modes, like eco and sport and stuff. And then this all-wheel drive obviously adds things like sand and like I think mud rut and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool because it has somewhat of like off-road capability. And in this segment, which is like that family car 5-seater, it's not that common. So I think already like well done Chery here for like just plugging another sort of section of the market, going like, well, if you want an all-wheel drive, here we go, I've got it for you. So that's pretty impressive. It's got the Tiggo 8's engine in, if I'm not mistaken. It's the 1.6 litre turbo petrol. This has got 145 kilowatts of power and 290 newton meters of torque. So it has got some power, let me tell you. I think the only thing is it's a little bit jerky. So this is better than the 7 CVT. This is a dual clutch transmission and it's far better. But I do find it almost too eager. So you've got to just get used to how you're planting your foot if you've been driving something else, do you know? With that said, there's also like a little bit of heavy body roll in this car, I find. Like, don't get me started on this indicator. I mention it every time I drive one of these. But, hey, I think I really came the wrong way. But here we are. I'm going to be stuck here for a while. Go! Shoo! Thanks. Not that it's meant for this, but you don't really want to be throwing it into corners or going like super quick. I just don't know what it is, but it feels not as planted, which is unusual because it probably should. Anyways, it's just something to consider. Fuel consumption I'm going to mention quickly. So unfortunately, I mention this every time I drive a sort of Chinese brand, is the consumptions are just too high. So I'm sitting at 9.2 litres per 100 Ks. I expected that, to be honest, but that's the only downside. The f*** is that? The hell? Well, that sounds like we're under attack. Just about shat my pants there. Okay, so again, I'm going to mention them because I think we need to, and I'm not here just like praising Chery because they are such good value for money, because they do come with their faults and their quirks, which just about every product does, to be fair. But I want to mention them because maybe they're things that are going to bother you and they might be deal breakers. Okay, so one is Okay, I can't stand everything in a touchscreen. Here you've got a few things for the air conditioning and everything, but I find this infotainment system to be quite tricky. For some reason, my Android Auto doesn't seem to work. Like, even though I've connected it, it sort of seems to, and then it doesn't. Then if I want the media to play, it doesn't. I can hear a voice note on my phone, but I can't hear like music. I don't know, it's been like very complicated, and it shouldn't be. That should be easier. The other thing on these review mirrors, which make me want to vomit every time I look in it, so I'm not going to look in it again. Nope. They're like it's like a prescription glasses. I've mentioned that before. Hate that, and I would genuinely have to have that removed, like the glass removed and changed, because I wouldn't be able to live with that, because it makes me feel so nauseous. Let's put on a tune, Dan. I don't even know if I can. I can't even. Let's see. Wait. Media. Present! That's irritating. Okay. Tricky. And the other thing is potentially, and this is just, I don't think it should be a deal breaker as to why you shouldn't go for the car, because I mean the whole reason is that this is so that you do buy the car. There's a lot of safety features, but of course they are intrusive. I've mentioned this again on a number of sort of Chinese brand cars I've driven lately. The reason this is jam-packed with them is so they get a 5-star rating, which is amazing, and you do want that. The sort of flip side of that coin, unfortunately, is that you turn them all off. And so I didn't even turn most of these off. When I got into the car, they were turned off. So whoever was driving it before me felt the same way. And that kind of is counterintuitive, isn't it? It's like, it's got the safety rating because it's got all the safety features, but you're turning the safety features off because they're flipping irritating. That sucks. I'm being told constantly by this thing that I am not paying enough attention to the road, like I'm distracted. And that's not while I'm talking to you only. It's all the time. So if I look on the screen to do anything, it's like, wait, you are distracted. I'm like, cool. But eventually I'm ignoring you. So again, doesn't really help. So those are the only sort of negatives and the downsides for me. Other than that, these cars, now you're looking at, this is like, again, the top of the range all-wheel drive. It has everything in it, guys. I don't think there's a feature that you can't get it, that it isn't in it. And it's at like 610,000 Rand. And I say it all the time, it's because they're such good value for money, and I know that that pisses other manufacturers off because they feel like they're a good value for money, and that, you know, they're more, I don't know what I get it, they're threatened, I think. Not just other manufacturers, but like a lot of, it's like a disruptor to any market or any industry, you know, and I think that's a good thing, because sometimes you need a shake-up. And I think that's what these Chinese car brands have done, and I certainly think that's what Chery has done. I would highly recommend this car to somebody. I'd say drive it and take note of the things that might bother you or that are going to be a deal breaker potentially, like fuel consumption, like all the safety things, like everything I mentioned. But at the end of the day, most people that I talk to, most people who like DM me or email me or WhatsApp, like whatever, friends, anybody that is coming to me for car advice, and obviously there's a lot of you because I'm so popular. The biggest concern at the moment for a lot of people is price, not brand, not the quirks, not the issues, but price. And if you want like a large, spacious family car, but you don't want to spend $1 million and you don't have 8, but you know, you want all the features, you want everything, these cars offer that. I mean, you can get this obviously for less than 600. You can get the Pro Max just with the other one that I mentioned. Do you know what I mean? For like 500 and something. But there is just no denying that at the price point, you can't. This is not a one-way. That's okay. I'll show. That's okay. Don't worry. I see that you're a young driver. How nice am I? They literally came around that corner like it was a one-way, and it wasn't. And then they stalled the